Hello, I'm Elise Solomon, the Director of Learning and Engagement at the Taft Museum of Art, and welcome to the next installment of Family Funday. This week's project is inspired by the many different cultures and time periods represented in the Taft's permanent collection. Take, for example, one of our most famous paintings, Portrait of a Man Rising from His Chair by Rembrandt. In the Netherlands in the 1600s, black fabric and lace were prized fashion statements. So let's make our own fashion statement. Let's get started. So we are going to be making our own fashion accessories inspired by the work of art. We're going to be making some collars, and this will hopefully give some flair and fun to your stay-at-home fashion lives. And so what supplies do we need? So we're going to be using sort of a mix match of different supplies that you may already have at your house or in your kitchen. And so I have some markers, Sharpies, and scissors, some curling ribbon. I raided my my Christmas gift wrapping supplies. So we have wrapping paper here, some fancy party napkins. I also have some other random crafting supplies like a box of jewels. These are totally optional. And so these are the sort of fun basic supplies that we're going to need. But where do we get this started? So we're going to be getting this started using a paper plate. So what you need is some sort of cardboard that has some rigidity to it, some thin cardboard. So if you don't have paper plates like I do from one of my latest takeout ventures, then you could use a cereal box or something similar to that. So how do you get this started? So we're going to grab our scissors. And so the idea is you're going to want to use this shape to be the collar around the neck. And so if you don't have a paper plate and you are using that larger piece of thin cardboard, just trace a plate from your cabinet and use that as your guide. So first step, cutting one incision there. So we have that right there. And then we're going to be basically just going around. And so for my neck as an adult, I had left about an inch or so around the paper, around the rim here. But you know, if you have a smaller neck, like a child's neck, that you're trying to fit, you may want to leave a little bit more, and you can always go back and cut out more. That's the nice thing. Always leave more, cut out less. So here's what we have here. Let's make sure it fits. Oh, very nice. Okay. So this is a fun project too because you can take as little or as much time as you want with it. So you can kind of scale it up or scale it down depending on how much time and attention we have for such a project. So I'm going to put this to the side and show you where I am right now. We're going to add my finishing touches. This is where I am right now. I used my markers and Sharpies to create a design around the collar, around the neck. I used some foil just to add some shiny bits. So my curling ribbon down here to add just a little bit of flair where the opening is. And then you can't really see too well, but I have used some of my sparkles around the edge over here as well. So what do you use to adhere these objects to it? So I have some hot glue here that I use. It's not on right now, but just so if you have hot glue gun, they're a really easy, good way to make larger things stick to your paper or to other materials. Just a word of warning though, it is hot. So if you have little hands at home, I highly recommend that the adult is the one that's using the hot glue gun. And then also just make sure you're not touching the nozzle of the hot glue gun, that it gets really hot. I have burned myself more times than I care to admit. Additionally, I always try to leave my hot glue gun when it's on top of a surface like foil, extra piece of foil, cardboard, paper, something like that. So that way, if glue does drip and melt out of the nozzle, it's not getting all over my table or whatever. So just a tip there. But you can also use, again, my gift wrapping tape, my packing tape, there's Elmer's glue, all sorts of things that you can use. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've pre-cut some wrapping paper petals, basically. I'm going to be using some tape. Here's a little bit of tape that I've prepared over here. And, you know, I think it's always a good idea to kind of map out where you want to put these things. So I'm going to adhere it to the back of my collar. We're going to do another one. Let's see if I can get another piece of tape. So these are going to be super fun and flamboyant, which is exactly what we need during these times. I moved here from New Orleans, where we used to have costuming opportunities all the time during Mardi Gras, Halloween, anytime basically was a time for a costume. So this is a project that's near and dear to my heart because I like to make anything fun and fabulous if I can. So we used to have costuming parties and where we would sit down and around my table and craft away for Mardi Gras. All right, so there we go, looking even more ostentatious. I also thought it might be fun to add some of these paper napkins details to it, so I'm just going to use some more tape to adhere to the back of this. And you know, one of the things I'm choosing strategically is are objects that are going to give this project some height around the neck. I think that is a really fun aspect of this that really makes it nice and bold. So this time I'm deciding to make tape balls to adhere. This is just, you know, you can do this however you want to. That's the beautiful thing about it. It doesn't really matter. This is all about your own self-expression and just having fun. I would recommend, you know, after you have finished your beautiful creations, having a fashion show, and then you and your kids or your friends or your family, your partner, can describe what they made and why they made their fashion choices for their work, for their new look. Okay, so, oh my goodness, is this not the most bold and beautiful thing? I am very happy. All right, let's see here. Oh, there's a few more details. I wanted to add my little ribbons here. So you see these nice already because they have adhesive backs to them. Let's see if I can get it. All right, there's one. I don't like to leave the tape showing or any of my seams showing if I can, just to give it a more finished look. Now that is a personal preference, 100%. Yeah, and basically, as we made our choices in New Orleans for what we were going to be wearing for Mardi Gras or other opportunities, the more sparkles, the better. So I really love finding materials that have something reflective about them. Makes it more fun to wear. All right, so here we go. Oh, look at my bold fashion statement. Well, it looks like a little thing though. That's okay. It could be adhered later. So I really hope to see your creations, your fashion statements that express yourself. So make sure that you tag us, Taft Museum Discovered. See you next time.